thing, or I wouldn't have given it up, cancer or no cancer. But now if I...
The 6 actors who refused to attend John Wayne's funeral, it shocked Hollywood. Born as Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907 in Winterset, Iowa, John Wayne came from humble beginnings before his family packed up and headed to Southern California. As a young man, he had brains, brawn, and ambition. He landed a football scholarship at the University of Southern California, a dream come true at the time. But fate had other plans. A serious injury crushed his athletic goals, forcing him to find a new path. That painful twist of luck became his turning point. Wayne started from the bottom at Fox Film Corporation, running errands, doing odd jobs, and soaking up every bit of knowledge about filmmaking he could. It was during this grind that legendary director John Ford spotted his spark and took him under his wing, a move that would change Wayne's life forever. The early years weren't glamorous, though. Throughout the 1930s, Wayne worked non-stop in low-budget westerns that barely made a dent at the box office. Yet he kept going, sharpening that rough cowboy charm and building the strong, silent persona the world would later idolize. Then came 1939, and everything flipped overnight. Ford cast him in Stagecoach, a film that catapulted Wayne from a struggling extra to Hollywood royalty. As the Ringo Kid, Wayne radiated a mix of grit, tenderness, and cool confidence that mesmerized audiences everywhere. That role didn't just make him a star, it redefined what it meant to be a Western hero. From that moment on, John Wayne's career shot through the stratosphere, and he became one of the most bankable names in film history. Over the following decades, Wayne starred in over 170 films, cementing his place as a Hollywood titan. His bond with John Ford produced cinematic gold, My Darling Clementine, She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, The Searchers, and The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Each performance added new layers to the legend. In The Searchers, Wayne's portrayal of Ethan Edwards stunned critics, a rugged frontiersman torn between vengeance and morality. That role remains one of his finest, showing a darker, more complicated side of the classic cowboy myth. But Wayne wasn't just about six-shooters and saddles. He embodied the American soldier, too. In war epics like Sands of Iwo Jima, The Longest Day, and In Harm's Way, he became the image of leadership under fire. Calm, strong, and determined, his characters carried the weight of command without breaking. His role in Sands of Iwo Jima even earned him an Academy Award nomination, proving he could deliver heart and depth beyond the stoic exterior. Even though he was often seen as the symbol of rugged masculinity, Wayne's range was impressive. He could be funny and wild in McClintock, unexpectedly tender in The Shootist, and even quietly romantic in several westerns and adventures. When he returned for The Shootist in 1976, his final film, he played an aging gunfighter facing death. It was more than just a role. It was Wayne facing his own mortality. He brought raw honesty to that performance, especially since he was battling cancer in real life. The film The Shootist stands as a powerful reflection on legacy, mortality, and dignity. A final bow that hit deeper than anyone expected. In 1970, John Wayne finally snagged the Academy Award for Best Actor for his unforgettable role as Rooster Cogburn in True Grit. That rough, one-eyed lawman was bold, stubborn, and secretly soft-hearted. A perfect mix that captured everything fans loved about Wayne. That Oscar wasn't just a trophy. It was Hollywood's long-overdue salute to a man who built his fame on loyalty, hard work, and staying true to himself, not chasing trends or changing faces. Wayne's connection with his audience ran deep. They saw in him the spirit of old-school toughness mixed with quiet warmth. He didn't act like a hero. He lived like one. But behind that big screen legend was a personal life filled with fire, heartbreak, and passion. John Wayne's real-world story could have been a movie itself, complete with love, loss, and the fight to hold a family together. His life off camera was just as dramatic as anything he ever filmed. His first love story began in 1933 when he married Josephine Alicia Science. Back then, Wayne was still hustling for recognition, taking every role he could find and barely scraping by. Their marriage unfolded during his slow climb to fame, a grind filled with long filming days, tight money, and endless travel. Even though there was real affection between them, fame started pulling them apart. The distance, the pressure, the spotlight, it all chipped away at what they had. Still, their 12-year marriage gave them 4 children: Michael, Mary Antonia, Patrick, and Melinda. The Wayne name didn't stop with him. Michael and Patrick would later dive into Hollywood too, keeping their father's legacy alive. But by 1945, the strain became too much. The marriage ended in divorce, leaving Wayne heartbroken and more cautious about love than ever. Then came Esperanza Chata Baur, a dazzling Mexican actress who turned Wayne's world upside down in 1946. The chemistry between them was explosive, 2 strong personalities colliding in passion and chaos. But what started as fire and excitement quickly turned stormy. Their marriage became a battlefield of jealousy, shouting matches, and emotional turmoil. The love was real, but the peace never lasted. After years of constant tension, they split in 1954, leaving Wayne scarred by another failed romance. He walked away believing that love under Hollywood's glare might never survive. That same year, he met Pilar Palet, a stunning Peruvian actress who brought a new calm into his life. She wasn't like the others. She grounded him, balanced his stormy nature, and gave him a renewed sense of home. Together, they built a family with 3 children, Isa, John Ethan, and Marissa, expanding Wayne's legacy even further. For a while, it seemed he had finally found peace, but fame has a way of testing even the strongest bonds. Between long filming schedules, his stubborn streak, and their different visions of life, cracks began to show. After 19 years, they separated, but they never officially divorced. Despite the split, they stayed connected, bound by years of love, memories, and family ties that never fully faded. In his later years, Wayne found unexpected comfort in Pat Stacy, his former secretary. What started as friendship quietly turned into companionship, and she became his closest confidant during his final years. Through illness, exhaustion, and the fading lights of stardom, Pat stood by him with fierce loyalty. She cared for him when he needed it most, offering the kind of love that didn't need attention or applause. It was real and constant until the end. Their relationship might have been unconventional for the times, but for John Wayne, it was exactly what he needed. A sense of peace and loyalty that lasted until his final days in 1979. It closed out a life that burned bright both on and off the screen with the same boldness that made him unforgettable. When John Wayne passed away on June 11, 1979, at age 72, Hollywood didn't just lose a movie star, it lost a living monument. Known around the world as the Duke, Wayne stood for rugged independence, unshakable patriotism, and a brand of old-school American values that made him both revered and resented. His funeral at Our Lady of the Angels Church in Los Angeles was a grand farewell, attended by family, close friends, and Hollywood insiders who respected his massive legacy. But the real shock came from the people who didn't show up. Some absences spoke louder than any eulogy, proof that Wayne's legacy was as divisive as it was legendary. Deep-rooted ideological feuds, personal clashes, and moral differences kept certain big names far away from his final goodbye. John Wayne never played it safe when it came to his beliefs. He was loud, proud, and unfiltered. In a 1971 interview, he dropped a line that sparked outrage, saying, I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility. That statement exploded in controversy, turning him into a lightning rod for criticism. And when asked about his patriotism, Wayne doubled down, declaring, "I'm not ashamed of being an American, and I believe in America first." Words that inspired some and infuriated others. So it wasn't a shock when Jane Fonda refused to attend. Their feud ran deep and public. During the Vietnam War, Fonda became one of the loudest voices against U.S. involvement, while Wayne stood as one of its fiercest defenders. The two couldn't have been more opposite. Wayne once dismissed anti-war activists by saying, "They call it protest. I call it treason." The tension between them was ice cold. Fonda later remembered Wayne confronting her harshly at a social event, making it crystal clear they'd never see eye to eye. For her, showing up at his funeral would have gone against everything she believed in. Then there was Marlon Brando, who represented everything Wayne wasn't. Brando was fiercely progressive, anti-imperialist, and outspoken about Native American rights. He couldn't stand the way old westerns glorified violence and conquest. In his eyes, the cowboy myth that Wayne helped build was all wrong. Brando once blasted Hollywood for celebrating genocide through those same westerns that made Wayne a legend. So when the Duke passed, Brando's silence wasn't disrespect. It was a firm stand on principle. Paul Newman also stayed away, though he wasn't one for public drama. Known for his quiet humanitarian work and strong liberal values, Newman supported civil rights, opposed the Vietnam War, and funded progressive movements that stood in total contrast to Wayne's conservative ideals. The two men were never close. Wayne once mocked liberal actors, saying, "A lot of actors pretend they're thinkers. I never pretended." Newman never clapped back, but he also never crossed that political divide. And in death, he kept that same respectful distance. Then came Burt Lancaster, another Hollywood heavyweight who had zero patience for right-wing extremism. Smart, outspoken, and politically engaged, Lancaster believed actors had a duty to question authority, while Wayne believed in defending it without apology. Their respect as professionals didn't erase the philosophical wall between them. Lancaster viewed Wayne as the face of a Hollywood mindset he couldn't support, especially during the McCarthy era when political fear was running wild. Even James Garner, who actually served in the military, found himself turned off by Wayne's over-the-top patriotism. Garner respected service, but he didn't like the way war was glamorized or turned into a stage for ego. Over time, he grew critical of that rigid my country, right or wrong mentality that Wayne championed so fiercely. James Garner later spoke candidly about John Wayne. He said he respected him as a good actor, but a man I didn't agree with. Garner never hid his discomfort with Wayne's larger-than-life dominance in Hollywood. He saw the Duke as a bully who confused disagreement with betrayal. So when the funeral came, Garner stayed away. His quiet absence spoke volumes. Harry Belafonte's decision to skip the service ran even deeper. As a close friend and ally of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Belafonte had spent his life fighting for racial equality. To him, Wayne's public comments on race weren't something to overlook. They cut deep. Wayne had once said, "I don't feel we did wrong in taking this great country away from them," referring to Native Americans. That remark outraged Belafonte and countless others who saw it as dismissive and cruel. Respecting Wayne's fame didn't mean forgiving his views. By the end of his life, John Wayne knew exactly how polarizing he'd become, and he didn't care. "I don't think you should apologize for being who you are," he said defiantly in one of his final interviews. Those words summed up everything about him: his strength, stubbornness, and solitude. The people who refused to attend his funeral weren't just skipping a service, they were taking a stand. It was one last symbolic divide between the man Wayne was and the America they believed in. Still, Wayne's impact can't be denied. His legacy endures, loved passionately by millions and criticized fiercely by others. And maybe nothing captures that contradiction better than those empty seats at his funeral, vacant not out of forgetfulness, but conviction. On June 11, 1979, John Wayne's incredible journey came to an end when he lost his battle with stomach cancer at the UCLA Medical Center. He was surrounded by doctors and caregivers, but the moment still hit the world like a thunderclap. His death left a heavy silence, a feeling of loss that stretched far beyond the hospital walls. The news spread fast. Fans across the globe felt it like a punch to the gut. Hollywood paused to mourn a man who had shaped generations of moviegoers and defined an entire genre. Love him or hate him, no one could deny that John Wayne changed cinema forever. He was laid to rest at Pacific View Memorial Park Cemetery in Corona del Mar, a peaceful spot overlooking the calm waters of Newport Beach. The quiet ocean breeze and serene views made it a fitting resting place for a man who had lived with such fierce energy. Family, friends, and loyal fans gathered to say their goodbyes, not with fanfare, but with quiet respect and heartfelt reflection. It was the perfect end for a life that had seen so many battles, victories, and heartbreaks. Though his journey on Earth ended that June day, his legend never faded. His name, films, and spirit continued to echo across time, still sparking debate decades later. In February 2019, Wayne's infamous Playboy interview resurfaced, stirring up another wave of controversy. Activists demanded that John Wayne Airport be renamed, arguing that his words no longer represented modern values. Wayne's son, Ethan, stood up in defense of his father, saying it would be an injustice to judge someone based on an interview that's being used out of context. But the debate didn't die there. During the George Floyd protests in June 2020, renewed calls came to strip Wayne's name from the airport and restore its original title, Orange County Airport. As of 2026, the name still stands. Proof that John Wayne's presence, for better or worse, remains impossible to erase. His story is tangled with controversy, pride, and power, a legacy both celebrated and challenged. So what do you think? Was John Wayne a hero, a relic, or something in between? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive into Hollywood's most shocking stories. See you in the next video.